If you look at the fitness industry nowadays, there's more influencer, more advisors, and more complicated things you should add into your workout to get that 1% more gains. Recently, I started my career as a fitness coach. As I met more clients, I found out actually not everyone has the available energy and time to train like a bodybuilder. Even if you do, there will be some time you want to spread your energy on other stuff like working and family. This brings me to the topic of today's video. What's the least amount of effort that we should spend in gym but still make significant progress? To answer that, I'll break the question into three main parts. What's the least amount of exercise we need? What's the least amount of volume we need? And what's the least amount of time we need but still make significant gains? So first off, what's the least amount of exercise we need? The simplest way to look at every exercise is that it all breaks down to 7 fundamental movements of human body. First, we have squats. In squats, your knee and hip will be dominant to create a vertical force, like how you stand up from a chair and jump all the way up to dunk. This covers your glutes, quads, and hamstring. Hinge. In hinge, your hip travel back while your spine stays neutral. Different from squat, your knee bend only a little like we do in deadlift. This trains your ability to not overload your spine when you pick up something off the ground. In our video here, we name this category hip dominant. Similar to squat, it covers your glutes, hamstring, and maybe a little of your quads. Lunges. Lunges is unilateral, focus more on single leg strength, balance, deceleration, make it more critical for running and stepping. If you want to train for functional strength, Michael Boyd, the author of Functional Training for Sport, mentioned you can even substitute squat with lunges, as most of the sport techniques are done with one leg. For the sake of minimalistic training, we're going to blend squat and lunges into knee dominant category. It covers glutes, hamstring, and quads. And because it's unilateral, your glute med, adductor, and quadratus lumborum will be activated to aid in balance. Push. The ability to move object away from your body, like opening up a heavy door. Put your potato on the shelf or push yourself up from a prone position. We have vertical push exercise like overhead presses and push up for horizontal push. Push movement cover your pecs, tricep, and front deltoid. Pull. Just like how rock climbing requires you to pull yourself up when you have no feet support. Or simply imagine you find yourself hanging on the edge of the cliff. Isn't it important now that you are able to do at least one pull-up? Pull movement cover your lats, traps, bicep, and rear deltoid. Rotation. Include both rotational movement like wood chopping and anti-rotation like pedal press. Train force transfer through the torso to make moves like throwing, swinging safer, and more efficient. We don't really do rotation to train muscle, but we mainly use your oblique. Gait. Cyclical locomotion like walking and running. Pattern that coordinate basically the whole body for efficient forward progression. In minimalistic approach, we choose one exercise from each category to match your goal the best. I believe most of us aim for hypertrophy, which refer to your muscle size or strength performance. So for instance, barbell squat, lunges, Bulgarian split squat, and leg press all fall into the knee dominant category. To choose your one and only exercise, remember, the more stable the exercise is, the more hypertrophic it will be. The less stable the exercise is, the more functional it will be. Let's say if you want to build a bigger quads, it will be suboptimal if you spend too much effort staying stable, so leg press will be the best option. But if you want to sprint faster, leg press will not be your answer as sprinting is unilateral, standing upright, and require your body to create stability. So Bulgarian split squat or even single leg squat should be your answer. To answer what's the least amount of exercise you need in the gym, one short answer will be, choose one exercise from each category that match your goal the best. Here's a table of my options from each category for your reference. Next off, what's the least amount of volume we need? We all come to gym for different reasons, but most of us aim for either hypertrophy, strength performance, or health. So first off, strength. The most important factor of gaining strength is not about how much volume you do, it's about exposure to heavy loads. A 2017 meta-analysis found that about 81% of the strength gains come from the first 4 sets of the exercise. Meaning even very low volume will still produce more strength increase if loads are heavy. This is crazy. I did some powerlifting program too, but none has told me that most of my gains come from the first 4 sets. For most of you now that has other stuff to worry about, if you still want to improve your deadlift performance, 1 set of heavy deadlift per session and have 2 sessions per week will be sufficient. Health. According to World Health Organization, adults should have more than 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic exercise and 2 resistant training sessions that cover full body muscle every week. A 2022 systematic review has also found that 30 to 60 minutes of resistance training per week was associated with so-called maximal reduction in mortality, cardiovascular disease, cancer risk, and insulin resistance. Take these two guidelines into consideration. You can have 3 gym sessions per week, and each of them consists of 15-minute cardio and 10 to 20 minutes of resistance training. But make sure you pick the compound exercise so you can work on multiple muscle groups at once, like deadlift and squats. For health, 5 to 30 reps per set will be the best rep range to increase your lean body mass. The low end will be more strength focused and the up end will be more endurance focused. Choose based on your own goal. Hypertrophy. Before starting to live minimalistically, 10 to 20 sets per muscle group per week is the general guideline across gym industry. And this is also the guideline I've been following for years. This makes sense as we all know hypertrophy is strongly related with volume. Until we have this meta-analysis by Dr. Brad Schoenfeld. Among 14 studies included, if you train 1 to 4 sets per week versus more than 10 sets, they'll each give you 5.5% and 8.6% of the growth, which if you see training 10 plus sets can give you the maximum gains. Training simply 1 to 4 sets can give you 64% of it. How is this possible? If you train 5 to 9 sets, it will give you up to 84% of the maximum gains. I need to make it clear that this is not a rigorous calculation, but you can rest assured most of us that minimalistic training is much more effective than most of us realize. Still, for those who has available time and energy, I'll still recommend you guys at least aim for 10 sets per muscle group per week. For instance, 5 sets of lunges on Monday and 5 sets of Romanian deadlift on Thursday can give you the maximum gains for glutes. A working set ranges from 5 to 30 reps can provide similar muscle hypertrophy effect as long as you are pushing hard enough. Personally, to keep it low injury risk and make it more time efficient, I would still recommend you guys go with 6 to 12 reps. Here's a table to answer what's the least amount of volume we need in the gym. Finally, we have what's the least amount of time we need in the gym. If you actually observe what you spend most of the time doing in the gym, it will be rest between sets. 30 seconds of pull-up and we spend 3 minutes resting. In minimalistic approach, we want to spend the least amount of time as well. So here's where we can utilize superset. A superset is when you do 2 exercises back to back without resting in between. Generally speaking, we want to pick 2 exercises that do not use the same muscle group, like pairing pull-up and push-up as they use entirely opposite muscle group, so that when you're pulling up, your pecs and tricep are taking breaks and vice versa. Even the rest between 2 supersets, you could still do some core exercises or stretching to utilize every second well. But make sure it shouldn't be so intense that it affects your main working set. Even though we try not to waste a single minute, but sufficient rest time is what guarantees us to train with best condition. So here's a table for ideal rest time based on your goal. If your program is strength focused, it's ideal to rest 3 to 5 minutes to replenish ATP-CP energy store. This enables heavier lift and higher volume for the next set. The 2022 meta-analysis included 9 studies and found that resting longer than 60 seconds is beneficial for hypertrophy and found no extra benefit to rest more than 90 seconds. For endurance goal, studies shown that resting only 20 seconds to a minute resulted in higher repetition velocity during repeated submaximal muscle action, which in another word, rest less than 1 minute increased muscular endurance. To best utilize this video, you gotta answer the below question. Do you prefer hypertrophy or strength gains? Based on your answer, choose one exercise from each category. Do you want to get as many gains as possible? What are the 2 exercises you can pair together to become a superset?
Shawty wanna take a horse ride. We been winning, you won't ever see the score tie. I done took her out the stands to the court side. Got a couple hundred bands, that's a horse ride. Let the doors hide.